Hey guys, Dustin here, CEO of 630. Today I want to explain what is an electric hybrid bike. Let's get into it. So, hybrid bikes are bikes that can't be classified in your typical road, mountain, comfort, commuter, or cruiser bike categories. A hybrid bike is a bike that uses elements of different categories of bikes, meshes it together, and there you have a hybrid bike. So hybrid bikes can really run the gamut on the types of features they have. They could have thin tires and a comfort seat. They could have thick tires and a racing seat. Really, you're going to see different elements combined that you may not see on a mountain bike that typically uses very traditional components. A mountain bike typically always has thicker tires and a certain type of frame, whereas hybrid bikes, you're going to use more of a road mountain type frame mixed with thinner tires or a comfort seat. So there's hybrid bikes that are geared more for off-road. There's hybrid bikes that are geared more for on-road. The idea though is they're giving you different elements for all those bikes if you're more of a multi-purpose rider. A lot of people may go on the trails, but they may ride on the sidewalks, so you want some elements of a road bike and a mountain bike. So an electric hybrid bike would essentially just be a hybrid bike that has an electric motor. Now, with that said, in terms of the motor and what type of motor, what kind of motor is on an electric hybrid bike, again, it really depends. There's going to be a whole lot of different electric hybrid bikes that are targeted to different riders. So as an example, let's say you're a rider that likes to ride through the city, but you like to get exercise and you like to go both on-road and off-road. So in that situation, you may see a tire that has a width of, say, 1.75 inches or 2 inches, because that would be a good tire to roll both on pavement, but maybe also on trails. And then you might see a particular motor for that use case. Like you may like to commute on that bike, and your commute may require that you ride through a park. So maybe it's better to have a more powerful motor for that situation versus a less powerful motor. So I know it's a lot of information and I'm not exactly answering the question, but an electric hybrid bike can really vary. And so I think it's important for you to think about what your needs are going to be and what your use cases to be. I'll make a few suggestions in terms of what to look for if you're interested in an electric hybrid bike. So firstly is, I think, the terrain you're going to be riding. If you're going to be riding exclusively on paved roads, and let's say your average ride time is going to be 5 miles or 5 miles or less, and you don't plan on riding faster than 10 miles an hour, well then, and let's say that you also are concerned with comfort. So in that situation, you don't have to go with a super thin tire. I'd recommend pavement only, about a 1.75 inch width. And then in terms of motor size, if you're not going to go above, let's say 10 miles an hour, a 250 watt motor would be absolutely, perfect for you. Now, let's say that you're that same rider, but you're going to be doing a lot of hills. Let's say you have a ton of steep hills to climb and you don't want to exert effort. In that situation, for that electric hybrid bike, I would use a bigger motor, most likely a 500 watt, because you want to make sure going up that hill is as easy as possible on your ride. Now, let's say same situation, you're going to go on trails, and you might have to go through some heavier dirt or something like that. In that situation, I would recommend a tire, maybe 2 inches, 1.95 inches up to 2.125 inches. And let's say you're going to be dealing with hills on grass, I would definitely recommend a 500 watt motor. So in that case, you can see you're really not going to want a road bike, but you're not going to want a mountain bike. You're going to want something that can do both for you. So if you're going to be doing trails plus street, also thinking about your tire tread. You don't want to have too rugged of a tire or too slick of a tire. You need something that will do well on both surfaces. And so lastly, let's say you're just going to be riding primarily trails. And it's not going to be like mountainous terrain, so you don't want a mountain bike, but it's going to be hard packed trails, and there's going to be a lot of hills. and maybe you're not doing it as much for the exercise as you're doing it for exploring. So in that situation, I would still recommend a thicker tire, probably 1.95 inches to 2.125. I wouldn't really go above 2.125. Not necessary if you're leisurely going on hard packed trails. There's no like crazy terrain. If there's rocks and things like that, that's a different thing to discuss. But let's say it's a lot of hills and things, then I would say a 500 watt would be good for that as well. But again, it also depends on the speeds that you want to go on, how fast you want to get places. If you're commuting to work on your bike and speed is a big issue on your electric hybrid bike, you probably would want a 500 watt. So I know I couldn't answer and give definitive answers for everything around an electric hybrid bike, but if you have more questions or want to know specifically for the type of riding you're going to do, what bike we'd recommend, please reach out to us, the team at sixthreezero.com, or call us by phone 310-982-2877. Also, you can take our body fit quiz. It's up here on the top of our website, or if you're on YouTube, go to our website. It's right below the top navigation. Take the quiz and we'll help fit you for a bike. If you still have questions, again, reach out. And don't forget, we have a 365-day return policy. So if you get your bike, you don't love it, after 365 days, you can send it back. No questions asked, no shipping fees to you, nothing at all. Because at 630, we want to ensure that you love your bike. Enjoy the ride.